Hello everyone, welcome here to Charlotte for the Charlotte RallyCross Grand Prix Round 4 of the 2013 NASA RallyCross Challenge season. As it's Josh Mertz up here in the commentary box bringing you the call for the Automotive Sports Network today, as we're going to jump right into it. If you need a paint scheme done for any of your racing interests, you can contact Adam Sweet at his page at facebook.com/JavaShotDesigns, as this broadcast is brought to you by JavaShot Designs. And you can join the conversation at any time by using those URLs or the hashtag ASNTVUSA. If you have any broadcast questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions, you can email us at any time. You can tell I'm out of order here as we started a bit late. As everyone on the grid here, there it is, rally format. Here we are, we have a 12-car field. We're going to have 3 heats, 4 laps apiece. The top 2 will advance. You have to take the Joker once. The LCQ is 3 laps, and the top 2 from that advance. So the final will be 8 drivers for 8 laps, and you have to take the Joker twice. So, let's get going here. For heat number 1 in Charlotte, the 4th round of the NASA Rallycross Challenge, it's going to be Chris Wetz, Yao Paulo, Caleb Paul, and Doug DeNice. So we have a Works Mitsubishi, a Semi-Works Subaru, a private Subaru, and a private Subaru. So, Caleb Paul's in second in the privateer points. We have the Delicia Race Team, which is second in Semi-Works, and the Works Mitsubishi Team Revolution Racing, obviously leading the Works Constructors Championship points, there. As everyone getting ready and gridding finalized. We're revving him up here for heat number 1 in Charlotte, and Wetz is gone! It's lights out, away we go! He saw the lights, and he's gone! What a start from Chris Wetz! As over the tabletop jump they will go. And into the first hairpin here. Wetz misses the brakes, hits the wall. Will Caleb Paul be able to take the fight? Yes, he will! Caleb Paul to the lead in heat number 1 already. So he's going to go through the chicane, and they start the first lap right there. They have to cross the start-finish line, start the first lap. So it's going to be Paul, Wetz, DeNice, and Yao Paulo is your field, your running order so far. As on the outside was DeNice. He tried to sneak past Wetz, but he couldn't get it done, as Wetz is holding the second place. As these two would transfer through if it ended right now, even though they didn't even finish one lap. So will Chris Wetz be able to take the fight to Caleb Paul? I don't think so. Paul was able to take the initiative as he takes the Joker, so he will get clear track and be able to be free of everyone else. At the end of lap 1, it's going to be Caleb Paul leading. I think Yao Paulo, he does not take the Joker. So Chris Wetz got that great start, but he missed the braking point to turn 1, and I believe that might have sealed his fate. Unless he can get the Joker taken care of, there they pass each other. Here's Caleb Paul. Unless he can have a blistering lap and take the Joker and steal the lead away, I don't think he'll be able to get it, as this track really requires rhythm, and you need rhythm 100% of the time. Wetz didn't have it in turn 1. As Caleb Paul rounds the second hairpin, we're going to find Wetz here. Let's see if he takes the Joker. No, he does not. So at the end of lap 2, it's going to be Caleb Paul leading, as the heats go quickly here in Charlotte, and we're going to see if Wetz can hold the second place. As to the Joker goes Doug DeNice. So he filters through the second as Wetz hit the barriers. You saw at the tail end of that shot, and Yao Paulo in 4th. So the running order on lap number 3 is Caleb Paul, Doug DeNice, Chris Wetz, and Yao Paulo. So Caleb Paul, he's pretty much an on and off driver, a lot like Chris Wetz. He had a podium, I believe, in Valkenswaard, not Island Rally, Valkenswaard, finished second, and he has flashes of brilliance, and then he has some times where just doesn't happen, as the white flag is out for Caleb Paul in heat number 1. It's Doug DeNice in second. Third is Chris Wetz. He has not taken the Joker yet. And 4th is Yao Paulo. Paulo is about to be lapped, possibly, by Caleb Paul. We're going to see if Paulo will take the Joker in car number 41 for Delicia Race Team. Yes, he does. There's only one of the Delicia Race Team cars here tonight, so they are looking to get a couple more points on Citroen Jr. Caleb Paul sliding onto the pit straight, over the tabletop jump. We're going to see where Chris Wetz is in regards to Caleb Paul. It's not going to be challenging for the race, or the heat win, rather, as through the chicane, over the tabletop jump, Paul wins heat number 1. But we're going to see if Chris Wetz can take the fight to Doug DeNice. DeNice is rounding the hairpin. Wetz to the Joker. Will Denice be able to get the momentum he needs? No, as Chris Wetz transfers through. Denice flies over the jump for third. And Yao Paulo will be fourth in car number 41. So it's Caleb Paul, Chris Wetz, Doug Denice, and Yao Paulo, your running order for heat number 1. As heat 2 drivers exiting the pit lane and rounding the track right now. As we have Dylan Livingood in car number 1, Tristan Hagenstein, Brandon Lambert, and I believe, there we go, Nick Cars in car number 35. As Dylan Livingood running a special paint scheme. Nobody really knows in the paddock what the paint scheme is for. Only the Revolution team knows. I believe it's for one of Livingood's friends who passed away. So, rest in peace to them. Condolences from all of the ASN staff. As heat number 2 getting ready to go. It's going to be Lambert, Cars, Livingood, and Hagenstein. A Works Volkswagen, a Works Ford, a Works Mitsubishi, and a private Ford. As Lambert, your 2012 A champion, Livingood, your 2012 C to 2013 B champion, triple drivers champion. As we're revving them up, getting ready to go for heat number 2. Who will transfer through here, and it's lights out, away we go. You saw Cars jumped a little bit, but he let them pass over the jump, side by side. Now 3 wide. Lambert, Livingood, and Hagenstein. Who's going to budge into the first corner? Lambert runs it wide. Livingood gets turned by Cars, and it's going to be Lambert, Livingood with a huge surge of speed. Hagenstein and Cars. So through the chicane to start the first lap, Livingood had an immense rear grip when he got spun a tad by Nick Cars. And we're going to see here, Livingood dives it in to the hairpin. He wants to try and pass Lambert. Will he be able to get past Lambert? Looks like he clipped the cone a little bit. That cone is off limits. We'll see what happens here as Lambert leading onto the pit straight. Livingood in second. Looks like he's all good for cutting. He did not cut. To the Joker goes Lambert. So at the end of lap number 1, it's going to be Brandon Lambert leading in car number 5. Followed by Dylan Livingood, as Nick Cars is taking the Joker. So Cars is in second. And then it's Livingood. Then it's Hagenstein. So the Joker really makes it interesting. If you take it on the first lap, you have to be completely perfect in clean air. But if you take it on the last lap, it's a lot harder to be perfect because you got all that traffic around. As Lambert over the tabletop jump. Near the end of lap number 2, Nick Cars, Dylan Livingood, Tristan Hagenstein. And Hagenstein, your leader in the privateer points. So he wants to get a good result tonight to further his lead on Caleb Paul. At the end of lap 2, Lambert leads in car number 5. As the hairpins, you see those chicanes have been widened for this season, as last season we had so many accidents involving pretty much the entire field. When one car, as Hagenstein lands on Livingood, when one car bottles up those chicanes, you have to take the chicanes by the regulations. If you skip them, you get automatically disqualified. So needless to say, that it was rectified, they hope, for the final. We're going to have an 8-car final instead of a 10-car like last season. And it looks as though Livingood holding up Hagenstein at the end of lap 3, white flag for Lambert. As Livingood takes the Joker in car number 1, Cars is in third now, and Hagenstein is in fourth. So Hagenstein has not taken the Joker. The only car to not take the Joker is Nick Cars bounces off the wall. He is good to go. Hagenstein has not taken the Joker, so we're going to see if he can pass Nick Cars. As I believe we're getting word that Livingood may have cut the track. We'll see here if he takes a trip to the penalty box. Slowing down, yes he is. The car number 1, he had to stop in the penalty box. And this, furious over the radio, is Tristan Hagenstein telling Nick Cars to get out of my way. As Livingood trying to hold on, he might not be able to. At the end of lap 4, heat 2 winner is Lambert. And no, Hagenstein through to the Joker. Because of the cut, he's going to transfer, as Livingood had to stop in the penalty box, and he is in the third spot. And Nick Cars trying to hold back profanity because of his argument with Tristan Hagenstein. He is in fourth place, as Hagenstein and himself had an interesting argument there over the radio, as there are team frequencies, but then there's a general race frequency. It's really weird how it works here, but the drivers are all allowed to chat on one radio frequency. It's pretty innovative, if you ask me. And heat number 3 now. And you wondered why you couldn't see the Citroens in those first 2 heats. Well, it's because they're all in the same heat. As we're going to have Luke Fleming on pole, then it's going to be Cody Erdman, I believe, then Jacob Kraus, and then Josh Mertz. There's a big announcement involving this team, as the Citroen partnership will come to a close at the end of the 2013 C season. It's Mertz. He's not very happy with the results he has gotten, I should say, with the Citroen C4WX, as they call it. And they're going back to Subaru, so it's going to be Subaru, Red Bull Subaru MRT, and then Subaru MRT Junior, instead of the Citroen and Citroen Junior teams. But it's Fleming, Erdman, Kraus, Mertz, top 2 advanced. Team orders are galore on the radio in the Citroen camp right now, telling the junior cars to hang on back, let the senior cars duke it out. Mertz is ahead in points of all the rest of his team. So we're going to see looks like alignment problems with the 81. As he's not playing very nice with the radio, or the officials over the radio, I should say. As I believe they should be good to go here. And we are just waiting for alignment as we're revving them up here for heat number 3. Who will get through? And it's lights out. Away we go. And like I mentioned, the junior cars are letting the senior cars battle it out over the tabletop. Mertz and Erdman will go. Who's going to get it around the first hairpin? Looks like it's going to be Erdman, followed by Mertz, followed by Fleming and Kraus. As Mertz jumps to the inside on his teammate, he thought better of it, but Erdman flies through and smashes into the wall. So a little bit too fast for Cody Erdman, and that's going to set him back quite a ways as they start lap number 1, and it's going to be Mertz, your 2012 champion, leading on the road, followed by his teammates Luke Fleming, and Erdman turns Fleming. Kraus gets by Fleming. So Fleming goes back to 4th now, as Erdman, quite frustrated as the teammates are wrecking each other, and Mertz is just saying, don't tear it up too bad, and we'll be fine. So the Joker goes car number 81, and he will lead at the end of the first lap here in Charlotte. Followed by Erdman in car number 82. So Erdman will hold the 2nd place after smashing into the chicane wall right there. The drivers have been complaining all night long in practice, and actually there was a couple drivers in their heat races when they came back to the paddock. They were complaining that you have to take those chicanes so quickly. There's just one fine line, and if you get a centimeter off of that line, you're going to plow into the wall. As let's see if we can get on board with the 81 here. As at the end of lap 2, he leads. And let's go on board for 1 lap and show you how precise you have to be here at Charlotte. White flag here in Charlotte for Mertz. As you saw, that was 1 lap. That was 41 seconds. As Mertz leads, Erdman takes his Joker, so he gets back to 2nd. Kraus is in 3rd. Fleming is in 4th. So the 81 pulling away, trying to secure his spot on the front row, with Livingood not winning his heat. If Mertz can just coast around here, he will be the only driver to win all 4 of their heat races in this season. Excuse me there. As he was able to do it for the 5 races that he was in, except for this race last season. So his heat-winning streak is growing as Mertz wins Heat 3, followed by his teammate Cody Erdman. So it'll be Citroens in the 3rd gate. Looks like Luke Fleming will come home in the 4th spot as Jacob, or the 3rd spot rather, as Jacob Kraus must have had another issue on car number 83, as the driver roster will not change for 2014A, I should say. It's going to be Mertz, Erdman, Fleming, and Kraus for the MRT squads at Subaru. So Kraus finishes up here, and we are getting ready for the LCQ. It's going to be 6 drivers for 2 spots, and it's going to be a 3-lap race. You have to take the Joker once, and if you thought the heats were crazy, just imagine all these drivers trying to fight for essentially all the real estate they can get on the start and holding them off for the other 2 laps. So the grid is here for the LCQ. It's going to be Living Good Cars, Fleming, Denice, Paulo, and Kraus. As these drivers, the top 2 will battle to transfer into the final. They will be on that blue gate that Doug Denice is in. So they'll have the far outside gate. It's not the best gate to get here as they're revving them up for the LCQ. 3 laps, and it's lights out. Away we go, and the whole shot goes to Living Good. That's his main thing. He can always start well, as on the outside is Fleming. He had a rocket start, trying to fly around the outside, but he might have to stop. Yes, he does. He has to stop. Cars, Denice, as they crash into the wall. It does Kraus and Fleming and Denice, as they're battling as starting lap 1. Living Good. Cars is on the wall. Denice, Fleming, Paulo, and Kraus is in 6th. So Living Good, this is all he wants to see. The clear track ahead of him. He's going to take it nice and easy to try and transfer through. As let's see who will take the Joker on their first lap here in the LCQ. As like I mentioned, you could take the Joker on the first lap, get clear track, and push, or you could not. Might have to deal with all the accidents and take it on the last lap and surprise someone. End of lap 1, 2 to go. Living Good leads, as we had that once. I believe it was Cody Erdman in 2012C. He was in effectively last place all race long. Final lap, takes the Joker, steals the win away. And this track is a unique track. And that the officials are debating whether or not to even bring it back for the 2014A season. There's a bunch of tracks that they've previously gone to. The Proving Grounds are absent this season, so we might have a visit there. Looks like Luke Fleming is stuck in car number 84, so he will have to retire the car to clear the track. So it's going to be the white flag for Dylan Livingood in car number 1. As if he can hold on, Nick Cars is in 2nd. Cars is at a breakthrough season. Excuse me there. Breakthrough season in car number 35. He made the final in Island Rally. Or at Valkenswaard, I should say, or one of those races. We haven't raced in 2 weeks. Next week, we will be in Talladega, as I had to rack my brain for the track. Talladega for their first race, one of the new venues, so it should be fun. Check the Monday after the race, so it should be, I believe, the 30th of December, ASN On Demand for that broadcast. Should be a fun one, as the checkered flag will wave for Dylan Livingood in car number 1, winner of the LCQ, followed by Nick Cars in car number 35. Denice takes the Joker, but it's too late. He's in 3rd, best of the rest, so he will get 9th place points. 10th place points will go to Jacob Kraus in car number 83, and Yao Paulo will get 11th place points in car number 41. 12th place and last tonight will be Luke Fleming in car number 84, as Paulo will finish. The final drivers are getting ready to go here. So they're making their way around the track, getting ready for the final race here in Charlotte, as this track is one of the more exciting tracks, as they're all gridding up, queuing up, getting ready to go, rounding the track. As 8 cars, 8 laps, and they have to take the Joker twice, and excuse me there, they have to take the Joker twice. It should be interesting, as turn 1 is always calamity here in Charlotte. So we will see, as the cars are gridded up and ready to go for the final here, and it's lights out, away we go. Off the line, Living Good gets the jump, followed by Mertz, Lambert, they're side by side. Mertz is on the outside, sliding, and upside down is Erdman. That should not be a red flag, it's only one car, so we'll see what happens as Living Good leads. Caleb Paul, Mertz, and Lambert as Mertz plows into the wall. That's strange. Red flag, I should say, here in Charlotte. That's a red flag as Mertz is upside down. So we'll see here if we will get... we have a race restart on the cards. We're going to see what will happen on this restart, as we have up to 3 attempts, and I believe while we were away there, they tried to do the first attempt and they wrecked. That was the second attempt. So we'll see what happens here at Charlotte. Lambert getting gridded up in car number 5. We have Caleb Paul, Brandon Lambert, Josh Mertz, Living Good. Then Chris Wetz, Tristan Hagenstein, Cody Erdman, and Nick Cars. And I apologize as for some reason I have to clear my throat every 2.5 seconds, and it's not very fun for you guys to hear. So here we go. Round number 4 of the NASA RallyCross Challenge is lights out. Away we go. Whole shot goes to Caleb Paul by far as 3 wide. He's Lambert, Living Good, and Mertz's turn for the 4th consecutive race. Something is wrong this season as he backs up into Living Good, and he's back in the field. And we caught the tail end of that. Radio immediately, 81, cut 1. So Caleb Paul leads. Chris Wetz as they start lap 1. Lambert and Hagenstein are side by side. That's not exactly the best place to try and pass. Erdman dives in, hits Lambert. He's going to block the track, possibly. No, track is clear. As I believe that might have been 81, cut 2. I heard over the race control radio as Hagenstein holding up Mertz. Caleb Paul goes to the Joker for the first time. So at the end of the first lap, it's going to be Caleb Paul and Dylan Living Good, followed by Hagenstein, followed by Mertz. That's your top 4 here in Charlotte. So Caleb Paul got that whole shot, and he was able to fly away from the rest of the field. He got clear of all those accidents, and we're going to see if he can take the fight. And that, I was hearing things, that was 81 cut 2, as they just mentioned. I believe he just ran over the cone, and I don't think he knows that he hit the cone. So we're going to see here. So Joker number 2 for Caleb Paul, end of lap 2. It's Paul, Living Good, Mertz, as Hagenstein went on the regular course. So Paul, Living Good, Mertz, Hagenstein, Cars, Wetz, Lambert, Erdman. That's your running order here after 2.5 laps at Charlotte. These races go quickly, and that's the main thing that we like here at ASN, is those endurance rounds took an hour, and it was really obnoxious. We loved covering them, but they were really long. As to the penalty box went Living Good. Looks like he ran over the cone. So he went to the penalty box, and that's going to put Mertz up to 2nd. Living Good, back to 3rd. As at the end of lap number 2, or lap number 3, I should say, Caleb Paul leads. So we are starting lap number 4 here at Charlotte. And the fastest car on the track is Caleb Paul, 31.608. Mertz is a 31.888. So 0.2 of a second difference. Living Good is half a tenth off, 31.652. Those are his fastest laps. Caleb Paul, Mertz, Living Good, Hagenstein, Erdman is holding up this gaggle of cars as he just ran over the cone. Erdman, Lambert, Cars, and Wetz as Caleb Paul bounces off the wall. So this is probably going to allow Mertz to take the fight. End of lap number 4. Halfway through here at Charlotte, and this is breaking the race wide open. Caleb Paul beginning to possibly crack, and Mertz is seeing, you can tell by him driving hard, you can tell he wants to get a victory. He came so close 2 weeks ago in Island Rally. He possibly has a penalty because he has not taken the penalty box yet. So we'll see what happens. We're on lap number 5 here in Charlotte. Mertz is driving like mad to try and catch Caleb Paul. Car number 7, a private Subaru versus car number 81, the Works Citroen team, the factory Citroen team. Caleb Paul bounces off the wall. Mertz is going to lead for a moment as we are seeing Chris Wetz and Tristan Hagenstein filter through. So 3 laps to go, beginning of lap number 6, and it's going to be Chris Wetz leading as this race is completely flipped over. So Wetz is leading, Hagenstein is second. They're going to be battling mad as Hagenstein, fighting on the inside, couldn't get the grip on the water. As lap number 6, we're coming to 2 laps to go, and it's Wetz, Hagenstein, Mertz, Paul is back to 4th. So we're going to see if Wetz and Hagenstein can hold off these two, as I believe the 3rd and 4th have taken their jokers. The top 2 have taken their jokers as well. So we're going to come to 2 laps to go. And it's going to be Wetz, Hagenstein, Mertz, and Paul under a blanket as Wetz, surprisingly out front. I don't believe he's ever won here at the Charlotte circuit. He's won 3 times, I believe actually 4 times, at Valkenswaard, once at Los Angeles. As we're on 2 laps to go. A lap and a half to go for Chris Wetz. Can he hold on from Tristan Hagenstein and Josh Mertz? Although Mertz possibly has a penalty pending. As we're going to see here, it's Wetz, Hagenstein, Mertz, Paul, Livengood, Erdman, Lambert, Cars. That's your field. Over the jump, into the hairpin. Mertz is locking him up. And I believe that's cut number 4 for the 81. As Caleb Paul jumps to the outside, takes the 3rd and 4th spot away as Hagenstein bowls it off the wall. So does Caleb Paul. Mertz is going to slip through back to 2nd possibly. Will he take the fight to Tristan Hagenstein for 2nd? Side by side. Can he pass him? Who is going to budge? Around the corner goes the 81. Hagenstein tries to undercut. Plenty of room. Side by side. Mertz takes the spot. 2nd place as they're beating and banging is Paul with Hagenstein. This is possibly for 2nd as Mertz possibly might get thrown a couple places back because of his cuts, and he hasn't taken to the penalty box yet. I don't believe anyone has told him that he cut because he typically doesn't realize it. Anyway, where did he come from? Chris Wetz is going to make it Revolution Racing 4 in a row. He wins in Charlotte. Mertz tentatively is in the 2nd place. Caleb Paul is 3rd. Livengood is in 4th. Hagenstein bounces it off the wall, but he's going to get it refired and cross the line in the 5th position as Lambert gets 4th. 6th is Erdman. 7th is Cars, I believe, as we're possibly missing someone here. As we'll keep it, we will pay attention to the results here. So, as soon as he crossed the line, race control said 81, thrown back 4 spots because of his 4 cuts. So Chris Wetz wins. Caleb Paul 2nd. Livengood 3rd. 4th is Lambert. 5th is Tristan Hagenstein. 6th is Mertz. 7th is Erdman. 8th is Nick Cars. Best of the rest is Doug Denison. 9th, Kraus, Yao Paulo, and Luke Fleming. So top 5 in points are Livengood with 68, Wetz 60, Mertz 58, Erdman 54, and Caleb Paul has 54 as well. We will go 6th place, Hagenstein with 50, 47 has Lambert in 7th, 8th Fleming 35, 9th Cars 23, 10th Kraus 22, as those guys have run all the races so far this season. Manufacturers, Mitsubishi 82, Citroen 61, Subaru 57, Ford 50, Volkswagen 47, so they have a clear race lead over Citroen. Revolution Racing is leading in works 128 to Citroen's 112, Volkswagen 65, and Mango Lemons Racing 42. SemiWorks has Citroen Jr. with 57, and Delicia Race Team has 25. The Privateer Cup Solstice Racing has pipped Great Lakes Motorsports 54 to 50, and then the rest has not changed because those drivers have only run 1 race. And the Nations Cup is getting close. Canada 68, United States 65, Germany 61, Netherlands 50, Norway 18, and Brazil has 17. So what a race here at Charlotte. We're going to see you next week from Talladega, as I hope you enjoyed today's broadcast of NASA RallyCross here on the Automotive Sports Network. And for everyone here, thank you for watching, and so long, everyone.